Good morning, League fans. Thanks for joining us, and we are definitely back in harness after my little lap around the globe. Very exciting for us here at rugbyleague.com with the Pacific Championships coming up, and we have those broadcast rights. And the legendary Jason Costigan on his way to Brisbane Vegas as we speak to return to the commentary microphone for that tournament, the men's tournament opener between Tonga and Australia, only here on rugbyleague.com. Certainly the only place you can hear Costo call the games anyway. In the Northern Hemisphere, there's lots going on with the Samoan team touching down on Saturday here in London at Heathrow for their 2-test series against England. And that team has been named. Let's go through it in alphabetical order. Matty Ashton, John Bateman, Tom Burgess, Darryl Clark, Ben Curry, Herbie Farnworth, Ethan Havard, Chris Hill, Morgan Knowles, Matty Lees, Mikey Lewis, Liam Marshall, Mike McMeekin, Harry Newman, Judy Nasemba, Kai Pearce-Paul, Victor Radley, Harry Smith, Morgan Smithies, Luke Thompson, Danny Walker, Jack Wellesby, George Williams and Dom Young. And we were lucky enough to crack it for a chat with Ben Gardiner, the coach of Samoa, before the team left Sydney. And coming up after the break, you can hear from Ben Gardiner, only here at Good Morning League Fans. Welcome back to Good Morning League Fans. My name is Steve Mascord, and I started off by asking the Samoa coach, Ben Gardiner, what he thought of that 24-man squad his opposite number, Sean Wayne, had named for England.
Yeah, very strong squad, yeah. We've just had our staff put together a bit of a team list, and really good strong mix of NRL and Super League talent. I can see that they've got a number of guys from the Super League Grand Final, which makes them fresh and ready to go. And then a really good mix of top teams in the Super League and also some top teams in the NRL. So I would be expecting that they're ready to put their best foot forward.
What did you make of a series like last year? And I guess, there was a few sort of G-up or motivational tactics used by Christian's opposite number over the course of that 3-test series. Are you expecting similar banter and mind games, or have you not even bothered to think about that?
I haven't thought about it. I understand that that's what Test match footy is about. At the end of the day, our job as Samoa is to make sure that we look after ourselves first and worry about our own game. Like at the moment, where the first thing we're worried about is getting to England and actually getting on soil over there, then being able to go about our business. So at the end of the day, what's done elsewhere is done elsewhere. We'll be worrying about our game and how we play. And, I think I've said it before in a number of different interviews and pieces that, we're a very, very different side to what went around a few years ago. We've got a lot of upcoming talent and, we've got some experience there as well. But we're looking forward. We're not looking backwards. So, I don't know. What the opposition are thinking and what their coach is thinking, but all I can think about is what we're doing and how we move forward into, these test matches and the ones in the coming years.
You're back on Good Morning League Fans. We're talking to Samoa coach Ben Gardiner, who along with his squad arrives in London on Saturday for the 2-test series against England. And I continued by asking Ben whether he had any injury concerns in his squad.
We have no injury worries at all. Right. Every single player in our team is ready to go.
Right.
Which is cool.
Right. From your point of view in the England team, is it as you expected, or are there any surprises? And who do you think is going to? Obviously you've got a very, very strong backline, haven't you? But you've got a few blokes missing in the forwards, and the forwards is where England are traditionally very strong.
Yeah, and I think just not just the forwards where they're strong, but I think strong forward matchups is what suits the English type of game. I think that often wet, middle of the field type games. So you've got to be able to be strong and compete in the middle of the field. So we purposely picked a couple of hard nuts out of the NRL with a lot of experience to come and go head-to-head with their forwards, which they'll be expecting, and we're expecting nothing different from them. So that will be, pretty interesting, I think. But at the end of the day, we're not worried about what they're doing. We're just worried about what we're doing. We've got to come together as a team first of all. We're just coming into camp on Friday and having a training session before we leave on Friday night. So we've got a lot of things to worry about before we worry about what the English side are doing, that's for sure.
You're back with Good Morning League fans. We're talking to Samoa coach Ben Gardiner. An interesting kind of, I don't know if you call it a rumour, but a story, a bit of a scuttlebutt going around, was that even though a number of players, particularly in the forwards, can't make this tour, the Samoans were going to invite them all to training on Friday in Sydney. And just as a bit of a show of strength to indicate to everybody, to the world at large, how strong they will be for the World Cup. So I took the opportunity to ask Ben Gardiner if that is in fact what will be happening tomorrow.
They won't train. We'll have some guys come together that are unavailable for the tour. We're we've got an arbor ceremony, which is a traditional ceremony on Friday before we leave. So we'll have a number of guys that are unavailable to come on the tour, come to that. And that's just a show of strength around support for the team that's going away. And then likewise, when we go to England, we'll have a number of guys that are of Samoan heritage that are situated in England that will come and train with us. So they may not be selected in the test match squad or in the actual squad to play in these two test series, but they'll come and give us some support so that we can, have some more numbers around our training sessions.
Matt, is there any names who are confirmed to come as sort of to attend on Friday? Like, is Spencer coming and guys like that, Stephen Crichton or blokes like that?
Good question. We're not sure yet.
Right.
We're not sure yet, and I'd rather not say at the moment if I'm not sure. So we'll find that out hopefully tomorrow.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, whoever comes will be welcomed, and that's probably more for us as a group to worry about than anywhere elsewhere.
You're back on rugbyleague.com's Good Morning League fans. And one of the big issues in the England-Tonga series last year, 1-3-0 by England, was ruck speed. The teams preferred different ruck speeds, suggestion being that England were favoured the slower the play the balls were. So I asked the coach of Samoa, Ben Gardiner, his thoughts on that issue and if he knew anything about who would be refereeing the two tests in Wigan and Leeds.
It's international rules. So obviously not Super League rules or NRL rules. It's in between. I watched Chris Kendall referee the Super League Grand Final just tonight, actually. And I actually watched him referee the test matches last year. I thought he was very strong. I'm imagining at the moment he's the lead referee. Comfortable with anything he does. I watched all of the test matches last year. It's test match footy at the end of the day. One thing we won't do is we won't be a victim to ruck speed and all of that sort of stuff. Like, you play to the conditions that you're given on the day, and what those conditions are, you need to adapt to it accordingly, basically. So, we'll obviously take note of some of the differences in rules and interpretations that the two competitions have. But at the end of the day, you can just turn up and, like the referee will turn up and referee the way he referees, and we'll assess and adapt and adjust based on what that is.
England and Samoa have only met 5 times. The first match was in the Federation Shield in 2006. It was a 38-14 win in Hull to the home team, England. And then in the Four Nations in 2014, England 32, Samoa 26. And then in 2017, an international, and it was a World Cup, obviously, England 30, Samoa 10. And then in the last World Cup, they met twice. And they were 2 very big games, very contrasting games. England 60, Samoa 6 in the opening match of the tournament in Newcastle. And then, just as more memorably, I guess, 27-26 in Golden Point time It was Samoa over England. And the big question in this is the first series, as you can tell, that the two countries have ever played. And it's only a 2-match series. So what happens if it's 1-1? Is there an incumbent? Is there a trophy? What's the story? I asked the Samoa coach, Ben Gardiner.
That's actually a really good question. We actually asked that today. So our manager, our general manager and footy manager is actually looking into that at the moment.
Right.
We had a few staff ask that question today. As a coach, I'm just worried about game by game, which, some people would go, well, that's a cliche, but realistically as a coach, you just go week by week. But, I'm sure there's some enthusiasts out there that would like to know how the series is won. And what happens. There was questions today around, what happens if it's a 1 win each and does it go back on a points count back? I don't really know because at the end of the day, it's a 2-test series. So how do you win a 2-test series or you win 2 games?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, because it hasn't been played before, you can't even say that the trophy stays with the incumbent team, can you? Because there is none,
No, and I don't even know what the trophy is, to be honest with you, Steve. That's a really good question. So Haynen, who's our general manager, he's looking into that at the moment, exactly what we're playing for. I'm assuming that the English Rugby League has something organised there. We're just not exactly sure what it is.